Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Hello and welcome to Connecting the Dots. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan. We're part of Snarful Solutions Group here in Sacramento.
And it is Friday, December 5th, 2025. If you're local, you know about the dense fog advisory this morning, so please be careful out there.
Definitely. And nationally, a big storm is hitting the Gulf Coast in the southeast, while a clipper system is bringing snow up to the north central plains and the northeast. So a very active weekend ahead.
It is. Now for some good news, let's take a quick look at the markets. It's been a pretty optimistic end to the week.
A very strong week. The Dow closed up, about 0.46% today, and it's up over 1% for the week.
The S&P 500 followed right along, a nice daily gain, and an even better weekly one, closing up over 1.2%.
And Bitcoin. Well, it's down just a little bit today, but it's still holding on to a massive 5.39% gain for the week. So overall, a lot of positive momentum.
Love to see it. Now, before we get into our main stories, the holidays are right around the corner.
Oh, yeah. And if you're already stressing about what to get for that, that techie friend who also loves sports or music, we have the perfect sponsor for that.
We do. Old Glory. It's an iconic music and sports fan merch store. They have amazing stuff.
And if you use our promo code SNARFUL, that's SNARFUL, at checkout, you get 15% off your entire purchase.
The website is oldglory.com. Definitely check them out.
All right, let's get into it. Today, we're pulling from our Morning Star, the Snarful Tech article report, to look at three massive stories.
And they're all really about battles. A battle for content, a battle for brand identity, and a battle for the future of news itself.
Let's start with the biggest one, the one shaking up all of Hollywood. Netflix is acquiring Warner Bros.
Okay, the scale of this is just down way.
Yeah.
It's hard to wrap your head around. This isn't just a merger.
No, it's a content black hole. Netflix is buying Warner Bros., all of its studios, HBO Max, for an enterprise value of $82.7 billion.
That number is just staggering. And think about the IP they're getting.
It's everything. I mean, they're going from the company of Stranger Things to the company that owns Casablanca and Citizen Kane.
And Harry Potter, Friends, Game of Thrones, the entire DC Comics universe.
Right, and don't forget Warner Bros. Games. So you're talking NetherRealm, who makes Mortal Kombat, and Rocksteady, the studio behind the Batman, Arkham games. It's just massive.
So Netflix instantly becomes the most dominant entertainment platform on the planet. But the real question, the one that's causing all the panic, isn't about the IP.
No, it's about the movie theaters.
What happens to theatrical releases?
Well, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? The co-CEO, Ted Sarandos, he tried to calm everyone down. He said Netflix, and I'm quoting here, expects to maintain Warner Bros. Current operations, including theatrical releases for films.
He said he expects to. That's a very carefully chosen word.
It is, because Netflix, their whole business model was built on destroying the theatrical window. They called cinemas outdated.
So why would anyone believe them now? This feels less like a change of heart and more like a move to hoard content so Disney can't get it.
And that's exactly why there's so much opposition. Paramount Skydance, they were the other bidder, and they immediately came out and said Netflix's business model is a direct threat to theaters.
And Cinema United, the theater owners group, their CEO, was even more blunt.
Michael O'Leary. Yeah, he said this deal could remove 25% of the annual domestic box office.
25%. That's not a small number. That's a quarter of the entire industry.
And that's the real fear here. The worry is that Netflix will just do short, token theatrical runs to qualify for awards, and that's it. They'll keep all the big stuff for their streaming service.
And if that happens, those local theaters, which are, cultural and economic anchors for their towns,
they'll go out of business. It's a domino effect. The theater closes, and then the restaurants and shops around it start to suffer.
So Main Street ends up paying the price for a streaming war.
Precisely. Now, for you, the consumer, it looks a little different, at least at first. Assuming the deal gets SEC approval and they spin off Discovery Global like they plan to in 2026.
All that HBO and HBO Max content just shows up on Netflix.
It'll likely get bundled right in. So you get a mountain of incredible shows and movies, maybe for the same price you're paying now. It's a huge win for your wallet.
But maybe not for the Saturday night movie-going experience.
That's the trade-off.
Wow. Okay, so that's the battle for existing content. Our next story is about a battle for brand new IP, specifically in the super hot AI hardware space.
Yeah, let's talk about this IO versus IYO trademark case. It's fascinating.
So this comes from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. What exactly happened?
So they upheld a temporary restraining order against a company called IO Products, Inc. And that's the new startup from Sam Altman and Jony Ive, which OpenAI just acquired.
The guy from Apple, Jony Ive.
That's the one. And the restraining order stops them from using the IO trademark on any products that are similar to a smaller company's product. That company is called IYO, Inc.
IO versus IYO. So a one-letter difference.
A one-letter difference, but you pronounce them exactly the same way. And the products are direct competitors.
They're both making those new AI devices, right? The wearable audio computers.
Exactly. They're both trying to be the thing that replaces your phone. So you can see how consumers would get really, really confused.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting from a legal standpoint. The case was all about something called reverse confusion. What is that?
It's a really important concept. So normal confusion is when a small company tries to sound like a big one to ride its coattails. Reverse confusion is the opposite.
The big company accidentally crushes the small one.
Pretty much. The junior user, in this case IO, backed by the giant OpenAI, is so much more famous that the public assumes the little guy, IYO, is the copycat. It just erodes their entire brand identity overnight.
So you don't even have to steal their customers. You just have to be so loud that you steal their name.
Exactly, but here's the part of the ruling that really changes things for tech startups. The court said that trademark infringement, it does not require any actual sale of goods.
Wait, they didn't even have to sell a single device?
Not one. The court decided that IO's big, flashy launch video they put out in May, the one with all the slick prototypes, that video itself was an infringing advertisement.
Just the ad was enough.
They said the infringement was sufficiently imminent. They showed they had the money, the plan, and the intent to compete, and that was enough.
That's a game changer, especially in AI, where there's so much marketing hype long before a product is even real.
Right, and IYO showed real-world harm. They proved that IO's big announcement was scaring away their investors.
Because investors hear about a new IO device backed by Sam Altman and immediately get cold feet about the smaller IYO.
It's a huge win for the little guy. It gives smaller innovators a way to defend their brand before a corporate giant can just drown them out with marketing noise.
It really makes you wonder, how do you protect your idea when a competitor can raise billions before you even ship?
A very critical question. All right, let's move to our third and final story. We've talked content, we've talked branding. Now let's talk about the survival of news itself.
This is the Chicago Tribune suing Perplexity AI.
And this lawsuit is a direct shot at the business model of generative AI. The Tribune is alleging copyright infringement. They say Perplexity, which is valued at $20 billion.
$20 billion, wow.
They say Perplexity is just illegally copying and sometimes even fully reproducing their articles to power its chatbot.
Because Perplexity's whole sales pitch was skip the links, right?
It was. It gives you a perfect, complete answer so you never have to actually click on the Chicago Tribune's website.
And if you don't click, the newspaper gets nothing. No ad revenue, no subscription money, no licensing fees.
It completely guts their business model. The Tribune's executive editor, Mitch Q, he put it very bluntly. He called it stealing, plain and simple.
He has a point. The only reason Perplexity's answers are accurate is because of the hard work journalists did in the first place.
And the lawsuit gets very technical here. It's not just about general web scraping. It's targeting a specific system.
Right, the RAG system, Retrieval Augmented Generation.
Exactly. RA is designed to ground the AI's answers in specific real documents to stop it from making things up, from hallucinating. The Tribune argues Perplexity is just strip mining their articles to make its RA system work.
So Perplexity is using their journalism to prevent its own product from lying to people. And then on top of that, their browser is also bypassing the newspaper's paywall.
That's the other part of the lawsuit, yeah. They say the comment browser is designed to get around the paywall to create these summaries. It's a two-pronged attack on their revenue.
And this isn't the first time we've seen this.
Not at all. The Tribune is part of a whole group of media companies suing AI developers, including OpenAI and Microsoft, for the same thing. This lawsuit really forces the courts to decide what's more important.
The convenience of an instant AI answer, or the survival of the people who actually find the facts that make those answers possible.
It's a fundamental question. If we create a system where it's easy to get information, but impossible to fund the creation of that information, what happens to society? The stakes are much, much higher than just one company's valuation.
A lot to think about there. Okay, before we wrap things up, we want to give a shout out to another one of our amazing sponsors, Skoni.
Skoni, that's Skoni, is the premium golf shoe store. If you've got a golfer in your life, their shoes are an incredible holiday gift.
And just for our listeners, if you use the promo code SNARFUL at checkout, you can get 15% off your entire purchase. Just go to skoni.com.
All right, so to quickly recap our morning star today, first we had the massive Netflix and Warner Bros. Deal. It's an $82.7 billion play for IP that puts the entire future of movie theaters in question.
Then we have the IO versus IYO trademark ruling, a huge win for small startups, setting a precedent that even a pre-launch marketing campaign can be considered trademark infringement.
And finally, the Chicago Tribune suing Perplexity AI. It's a case that really highlights the existential threat that AI answer engines, and specifically their RA systems, pose to the business of journalism.
You know, all three of these stories, Netflix's consolidation, the IO fight, Perplexity's model, they all point to this shift, right? The big battle in tech isn't just about building new things anymore. It's about owning the context.
Owning the IP, owning the brand identity, owning the verifiable information. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It really makes you ask, how much of the internet can one company or one AI model own before it changes how we see the world?
We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.